各位来宾，接下来的主题是 Digital Sovereignty, Security of the Information Space in Democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, now please join me in welcoming Jan Bartošek, the Deputy Speaker, Chamber of Deputies, Parliament of the Czech Republic. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Do you know this feeling where you are a little bit nervous? I do it right now. So, I will speak with digital sovereignty as a key part of democracy. On a social media, we are not costumers. We are the product. The real costumers are those who pay for ads. We think that we use social media, but in reality, social media uses us. And we usually don't meet some friend there who would like to offer some extra pair of new socks. They offer us something different mostly, and much more danger. Well, just a moment, please. Well, digital sovereignty is not longer an abstract concept for IT experts or policymakers. It's a foundational element of modern democracy. Just as important is a freedom of speech, the rule of law, or separation of powers. Without supervision over our digital space, we risk losing our control over democratic institutions and about the democratic process in our countries. If a country can't protect the digital environment of its citizens, it opens the door to external manipulation, surveillance, and even systematic destabilization. We can see it around us. Just as we are defend our borders, we must defend our data and data of our citizens. Through the history, humans have adapted to survive. We moved from hunting to farming, from working with metals to building steam engines, using electricity, and now we built a new instrument, AI. Each step brought progress, but also new vulnerabilities. In the past, power belonged to those who controlled physical resources, like gold, silver, uranium, oil, gas. But today, the most valuable resource is data, or personal information. Unlike our oil or gas data is not limited. It can be duplicated, sold, reused, weaponized. Consider this, I think you know it. Modern car contains a lot of sensors, and these sensors send a lot of information about us, about our speed, about our brakes, about our shoppings, where we live, everywhere. And this information is transmitted to manufacturers and the tech companies, often across the border. I think you know this, but did you agree with this? And this information will use, for example, for insurance. And the company which insure your car or yourself, the company can make a much more expensive this insurance, or can they allow take decision that they will no insurance you, and they will not ask you. This is reality. Well, every click, like, video, or second we spend online as an ever-growing digital profile can be used to predict our behavior with absolute accuracy. Companies often know what we want to buy, often much more before we know to take decision that we would like to buy something. They know it much more earlier. Well, but it goes beyond the customer's behavior. They can influence how we vote, how we trust, what we believe, and what we are worried about. Each picture of our family, house, holiday, children, new car, new friend, everything, it builds a profile, and who holds this data, he can manipulate with us as a person, with us as a population. Well, this predictive power is not just a business model. It's a tool of influence. It can be used for manipulation, to polarize society, or to surprise dissent. The one who holds the data holds the key to soft control or a hybrid threat instrument. I think we don't do enough to break this control. Digital sovereignty means that the state has the ability to govern and secure its own digital infrastructure, data, and communication channels, including the undersea cable, to control it. Well, the control means the control over cloud storage and servers, regulation of data transfer abroad, protection against foreign surveillance and disinformation campaigns, independence from monopolistic global tech platforms, and control of information, communication, and access to orbital system. Modern war doesn't begin with the first shot. It begins with a network disruption. It was visible in many conflicts. In these structures, there is no place for harmful hardware manufactured in countries that don't mean well with us. Absolutely. For the future and for now. Today, cybersecurity is no longer just about preventing fraud or data stealing. It's about defending democracy itself from hybrid threats that blend technology, psychology, geopolitics, and create disruptive narratives. Imagine such a scenario where election infrastructure is hosted abroad. If what if access is disrupted during national vote? What to do? Of malicious actors manipulate online discussion in the critical days before election. And I have to say, this is not a hypothetical threat. We have real exams. Well, what about Cambridge Analytica and Brexit? What about presidential voting in Romania? What about parliamentary election in Germany? These are real. This is reality. This is not some imagine. What to do with that? One possible strategy is digital protectionism, supporting and developing local technology companies instead of relying only on global giants. It doesn't matter from where. But digital protectionism mustn't be confused with digital isolation. Government shouldn't aim to control the internet or suppress innovation. Instead, they must create an environmental where citizens' data is stored locally, where the tech companies comply with national laws, and when the rules of the game are clear and enforceable. This can include public data being stored within national borders, supporting open source and democratic alternatives to dominant platforms, creating standards for ethical data use and transparency, and applying, and I think this is a main topic, applying instruments to anonymize data. Such steps are not about limiting freedom. Such steps are about preserving it. You know, it's a public information. There is a silent battle happening for control over information. It is. Authoritarian regime already use technology to control people, tracking their movement, their what you visit, what you do, what you don't do. They banning platforms, and they're using social credit systems to reward or to punish behavior. In such systems, citizens can lose access to basic services for example, for expressing a dissent. This is not a democracy. This is digital slavery. I think our response is to create free society with anonymized data. But the danger is not only abroad. Even in democratic countries, unchecked power in the hands of a few platforms can lead to indirect censorship, algorithms bias, and the loss of journalistic independence. And I am sure that if we fail to secure our information space, democratic states will be destroyed by external subversion. I think you will agree with me that the freedom of speech is a fundamental aspect of the democracy. But I am sure that the freedom of speech is not a freedom of reach. Social media is full of misinformation, hate speech, and coordinated manipulation. For example, Kremlin established an ecosystem with 150 websites. Well, people not often visit it, yeah? But this is not a reason why they created it. They publish every day about 10,000 articles on this website. It means about 3.6 million articles per year. And the question is why? Because AI use these articles. They are amplified by bots, trolls, and automated networks. And the AI use it to create a new reality. This is not a real reality. This is pro-Russia narratives, which AI use it as a roots, as a basic for creating a text. So we have to be very careful from which sources is AI learning. Well, this is not just about fake news. This is about eroding trust. This is fundamental for us. Trust in institutions, in elections, in facts themselves. When people no longer believe in anything, democracy will become fragile. That's why digital media literacy must become a core part of education. Just as we teach young people to read and to write, we must teach them to navigate the digital spaces, recognize manipulation, and verify information. Privacy is not just a legal concept. It's a psychological necessity. It's a question of mental balance. Today, we are not alone, and you know it when you travel in the buses and you walk on the street. All of us are still watching cell phone or something. We are still in touch with someone. Well, we are constantly online, visible and constantly evaluated. For young people, this hyper-connected reality is particularly damaging. Algorithm-driven content can lead to anxiety, depression, and even self-harm and suicidal tendencies. And we know it, for example, in TikTok. And we know it, and we have no power to change it. And it destroys teens. Well, we must protect not only our digital rights, but also our right to be disconnected, to be unseen, and in the first place, to be a human. Well, AI already crossed the red line between truth and the fiction. Deepfakes, synthetic media, and AI-generated text and videos. This is reality. If we lose the ability to agree what's real, we will lose the fundamentation of democratic debate. And secondary, trust in the government, media, institution, people to each other, and shared values. Authoritarian regime continue to develop their unfreedom at home and use technology to destabilize their rivals abroad. They are already investing heavily in cyber warfare, influence operation, and AI. And our responsibility is to be ready and to invest heavily too, to defend ourselves. Well, without supervision over our digital space, we cannot fully guarantee freedom, privacy, or public trust. We need a cyberspace with algorithm, without manipulation. If we don't know how is algorithm, we know nothing. We need educated people and technology that is ethical. If we fail to act, others will shape digital future for us. Democratic nation must respond not with fear, but with coordinated rules, shared values, and technological innovation. And about all is we have to trust in each other. If you don't trust your neighbor, if you don't trust your democracy, if you don't trust your government, there is no future. Thank you for your attention. And I believe in cooperating between the democratic countries which will support each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Bartošek, for your wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.